All right, now we're going to move on into strategies for overcoming writer's block. Now, we kind of alluded to some of them in the first section, but we're going to go just a little bit more toward overcoming. So, it really is, it's just almost inevitable that you're not going to ever get writer's block. You are going to struggle with it at some point. So don't worry, we got you covered. Top 10 strategies for overcoming writer's block. Now let's dive right in. Number one, and this is going to seem like one of those things that's either just seems so trivial or something you're not going to believe it will work, but it should. Write every day. If you're in a habit of writing, your body, you've trained yourself. You've taught your mind and your body self-discipline. If you write every day, even if it's just 5-10 minutes, at least 5 minutes, get in that habit of doing it every single day, and your body and your mind will stop having that squirrel syndrome, and it'll just say, okay, so let's just do this. You teach yourself how you're going to allow yourself to behave. So writing every day will train you. This is part of what it is to be writing a memoir. And you're gonna sit down with yourself and you're gonna write something, period. Anything, just do it. That's number one. Number two, on the flip side of that, if your mind is just melting, and sometimes you'll get there. If it's just melting, just get up and take a break. Now, that's not saying for days on end. It's saying for minutes on end. Take a break, relax, just unwind yourself. Go for a walk, read a book, watch a movie, take a nap, whatever it is, give your brain a break and a chance to recharge. Number three, change your environment. Now, by changing your room or, going outside, just typing somewhere you don't always type, your mind is a little less in the comfort zone and it's a little more alert. It's a little more like, okay, what are we doing? What are we doing? And just that change of environment can help you get going and get the juices flowing again. You can take your iPad out with you to an outdoor shopping center or a park, anything like that. Just change your environment. It's quick, it's easy, and some fresh air doesn't hurt. Number four, write something else. Now, this is going to seem kind of counterproductive because you really want to get through your memoir, right? That's your goal. Your goal is the memoir. But if it becomes a job instead of something that you want to do, then that's a problem. So if you start getting stuck in that mindset, like this is a job, I have to do it, I don't want to do this anymore, but now I'm this far in, I have to get it done. Don't do that to yourself. Let yourself take a break, whether it's a 1 day, a 1 week, however long it has to be. If you need to, if you've gone through some heavy stuff and you need to step away for a month or two, do what you need to do to take care of you, but get back to it. Don't let yourself leave for too long. But when you take a break from your memoir, at least keep writing every day. It just can be about anything, journal and talk about your day and, do anything, but keep writing something every day. Number five, so set small goals. Writing a memoir about a major point in your life is a pretty big undertaking. Don't make it into something trivial. It is a big undertaking. So what you need to do is, say you're going to give yourself a year to do it. You can do it in probably, a month or less, honestly. But give yourself a year, unless you already have the experience, and say, okay, so I'm going to write 10 chapters over the course of a year. So break it into small chunks and say, in month one, I'm going to come up with my focus, the whole story. Then in month two, I'm going to create an outline. In month three, I'm starting the drafting. I'm going into actually creating. And so each month you have your smaller goal. Then take it down even smaller. So in that first month, say you're coming up with your focus, break that down by week. How are you going to break down figuring out your focus? So you would be doing the brainstorming, the mind mapping, and different things like that. So with that, you've got week one. My goal for week one is mind mapping my teenage years. Now, obviously, that's not your assignment, but I'm just throwing that out. That's a good assignment for 1 week. And in 1 week, of course, you can come up with enough time and enough clarity and enough focus to do that mind mapping of just your teenage years. You can do that. You can absolutely do that. When you have a small goal, if you want to, you could break it down to daily, but you don't have to go any smaller than that. Let yourself have a little bit of freedom to bob and weave as your mood and your clarity and motivation and inspiration dictates. But those smaller goals will get you to the finish line much, much faster, much easier than saying, I'm going to sit down and write a personal memoir. Because that's overwhelming. That can be intimidating. Small goals is the answer. Number 6, use prompts. Now, one of the reasons in the I Remember When memoir program that I have, I provide my clients with writing prompts. Every day we give you different writing prompts that will help you figure out, what was your first job promotion? What was the first time someone broke your heart? Different things like that. We base it kind of toward your life, so it will hopefully trigger a thought. And using those prompts will help you. You just answer that question, and that question may not have anything to do with what you think you want to write about, but it actually might help you organize your thoughts of what you actually do want to write about, because you're like, "Ooh, yeah, I forgot about this." And then you suddenly you spur this energy, this inspiration to go start writing again. So use prompts. They really are a lifesaver for a lot of writers. Number 7, free write. Now, free writing is a technique where you just write without stopping, and it may be just total gibberish. You got to give yourself at least 10, 15 minutes. You can do longer than that, but truly, if you think of your big picture and you sit down to just free write, okay, I want to talk about the teenage years. That's all I know. I don't know anything else. So when I was 13, I swam a lot. Then when I was 14, I graduated junior high and went to high school. When I was 14 in the summer, I got a job at an amusement park. Oh, yeah, actually, it was that summer that life really started changing for me. It was that summer that I started hanging out with older people and really came out of my shell, and then all of a sudden you're like, yeah, it was that summer. That's the summer, and of course, whatever your story is, you have to start somewhere in here to untap all of the memories that are in there. Your memories, you've got a lot in your head. You've got a lot of memories, and there's a lot of stories that you can tell. So you just got to kind of free write your way through until one of them triggers what your big goal is. And you're like, oh yeah, this is it. And then boom, you can outline your whole thing in, literally 10, 15 minutes. once that inspiration hits you. So free writing is really, really a strong tool to use. Number 8, talk it out. You know, I've talked about this a little bit before, but being in a writing group with other people, or just talking to friends or family, talking it out will somehow, you think you want to go this way, and then they'll say, well, you said you swam a lot. What about, did you ever swim on a swim team? And you know, you could be like, oh no, I didn't swim like that. Just that conversation back and forth. They'll say, well, what did you do? Where did you swim? Well, I swam down on the lake in Southwest Missouri. And through that, then all of a sudden memories start coming back of, swimming underwater in the lake and opening your eyes in that green water and looking, and there's a fish looking right back at you. That's a funny memory. And that could be a great way. You just type out, swimming down at the boat dock, opening eyes underwater and seeing a fish. Put those things in notes, and then you can elaborate on it. So just talking these things out with people really help you know, and help you at least come up with another, a jump off point. Number 9, read. So reading is what got us here, right? You don't usually want to write if you don't like, at least on some level, to read, or stories. Some people don't like to read. It might actually give them headaches or whatever, or they don't have the attention span for it, but they like the stories. So sometimes you may want, if you have ADHD or something like that, because surprisingly, a lot of writers, a lot of very creative people have ADHD, and there's no reason why you can't be a writer. So just jump in there, read what you can, watch some TV, watch movies, and just kind of get your brain working in a different direction, a different way. And once you take the pressure off your brain, then things will usually unblock for you. And then finally, 10, give yourself permission to write badly. Don't expect perfection. Know that your first draft will likely suck as far as writing goes. What matters is that first draft, that you've poured your stories out, and everything that has meant anything to you to get to that story that you're going toward. That's the whole purpose of that first draft. It's not about knowing where the periods go, inside or outside of the quotes. That doesn't matter as much. I mean, if you're like, you already know it and you type it with it, then that's perfect. That's great. But don't put that pressure on you. Don't even think about that. Give yourself permission to write badly at first. The first draft is literally just that. It's a draft. You revise it, you improve it, you edit, you change, you cut, you add. It's a draft. So don't put that pressure on yourself. So guys, in closing, overcoming writer's block does take time and patience. Try some different strategies. Figure out what works best for you. You will break through anytime you get a writer's block. You'll get back to writing, because there's a story in you that needs to come out. So you're not going to stop until it's out, until you release it and you share it. All right, guys, don't give up. You've got this.